Alright, I'm going to do like a little review on the Lucas engine oil stop leak. My rear main seal and a bunch of my sensors and everything down by my oil pan. I even think my oil pan was leaking a little bit out of where the the gasket's supposed to be. And everybody says that the stuff doesn't really work for huge leaks, but my motor was leaking pretty bad, like really, really bad. And I was probably putting a quart in maybe 2 weeks, maybe to a month. It was leaking pretty bad. So I use this stuff, and what a lot of people don't really realize is you have to actually drive the car a pretty good distance for it to actually work. Like, I probably put on maybe 300 miles, maybe a little bit more for it to actually like really, really work. And it works pretty good. Like at first I was like, this shit's not really working too well. And then after a while, my engine stopped leaking. Like there was no more giant puddles of oil underneath of it. And I think the remainder of the oil that I was seeing, like after the fact, was probably it. Just there were like old oil dripping off the oil pan and everywhere else that it was just all like sitting at previously. And I'm pretty sure it stopped my leaks almost 100% completely. And it's not really that expensive. I used one quart in there. I was halfway down on oil, and I decided to get a bunch of these just in case. I got another one over there. But it worked pretty amazing. I'll show you a bunch of the puddles that are out there in my yard or on my bricks and stuff. And they were a little bit more massive. They kind of dried up now, but I don't really have any leaks at all. And I'll probably make another video after I drive it around here for a while and throw some cardboard under there and show you the drips that it has. But I just think that they're just from heating up off the oil pan, and it's just an excess amount of oil that was already on there dripping off. It's only like a few, like 3 drops maybe, that is left over from behind. But I'll go walk out there and show you some of the piles of stuff, of oil on the ground. That's for the most part the spots that were out there on the bricks. So it was leaking a little bit worse than that, but I don't really have any videos of that ever since I already put the shit in there and it stopped leaking. But I would highly, highly, highly recommend this stuff. Also, I've used the transmission stuff too, and that stuff's like a miracle. Like, that's probably the best stuff that I've ever used. Like, I had a transmission that was totally out, like, from overheating, and I had no gears at all. I could barely move to like down the block to get home, just on something that I was working on. It was like a Jimmy with a 4L60E, and I had no gears or anything, and I put that stuff in there, and it worked like a miracle. Like, I would highly recommend any Lucas products for sure, especially this, because this actually worked pretty good, and I didn't really have much faith that it was going to, because you figure you have such an oil leak that it's not gonna fucking stop it, and it did. Like my oil pan's all drying up now, and it used to be really lathered down with oil all over, and I highly recommend this stuff, because like I don't have any new oil spots out on the bricks or anything, or when I park it at Walmart or anything to go in there, and this stuff's just really good. And even like I've even like punched it a bunch of times and like passed a bunch of people and shit like that, and like it hangs in there like from getting like the oil pressure up in your motor, and it doesn't just blow out like the seals or anything like that it tried to like fix, like, or the seals that it made or whatever the fuck, however the fuck it works. But you would think from extra pressure that it would just push out whatever it put in the spots that it was leaking in it. Nothing pushed out. It seems to have better oil pressure than it actually did. So it's a really good product. I try to tell all my friends about that, the transmission shit that they have, the Lucas transmission fix, because that stuff's just great. Like, absolutely great. Like, I would highly recommend that, even if your transmission's not slipping, because it makes it feel nice and tight, and like everything's good. So like it's a good product, like 100%. So I'd highly recommend this. And that's if you have any like severe oil leaks, unless there's like a gaping like softball size hole in your motor. It should literally fix it. So that's my little review on the Lucas stuff. So